dose of realism. FURIA have a very good record on this map demo. They've been able to sort of get themselves in here. I think they're being very direct with it, but the clash is sort of back and forth, and you can see Daystar, they're kind of wanting a fight. Souffle's still active. There goes the clash, and now it should be an activation on the side, but the Kanzu gets rid of the buck, gets rid of that slightly looser player. So now you're seeing that they're actually going spread out far. JV92 is trying to take the back walkway as the pressure comes on towards the door of the site itself. The clash still causing some problems, and the smoke will slow things down. 40 seconds, and you've obviously still got at least one smoke canister, but everything in that Capital's pocket. So Philippox is going to start popping as Hazuki and Joe get two of their own. Now it's Herds at least trying to balance back. We know what he's capable of, but he's almost taken out of the equation as the fight happens at the bottom of the main stairs. Joe gets one, Nade gets one more, and it is just Nade left. 20 seconds in a 2 versus 1. As I said before, it just felt like they were a little bit slow to activate, and as they enter into a crossfire to potentially end this round, well, quick to end.
Look at this take, though, from FURIA. Horizontal is what they're after. Maybe realizing that there are opportunities just to walk in and pick up some freebies on the players in sight. So now there has to be a big trade game or else they're going to get caught out. But look at this from FURIA. They're always beside each other. If you kill one, you know there's going to be 2 more coming.
And now the site is pretty much empty. Seal has to rotate his way back down. Souffle has to do the same, but they can just sort of watch outwards. They get one and miss the second. Souffle, they slip away and they just keep going because now they know there's only one person on site. They're just going to push behind the Blackbeard and drive themselves in. There's the easy pickup, and that leaves a loose player. Again, they know he's above. They know they can plant. They know they just have to keep away from the hatches, which they're doing, and they can just watch outwards. That communication you said. FURIA, they keep themselves tightly packed together so they can make sure they operate as a team. Maybe Daystar a little bit slow to react to that, but Philippox, he brought
Goner, but if he doesn't, could get a kill. Wow.
Oh, he got a kill! Just walked out the breach and swung on towards Herds. And as you said it, if you don't expect it, you can make the unexpected happen. Now this is an expected position. He's being cooked out. There's all the pressure in the world on that man on green stairs, but he's been able to actually slip away. Survived, and there's a second! Oh, it's a third! Retaking the pressure underneath, and a little bit of silence. Not for very long. Souffle in an aggressive position again, and it's 5 versus 1 here, and they'll probably have an idea of where JV92 is, but again, you're attacking this site. They still have utility. You've got verticality. You don't have a kit. They would have to hand him this round on a silver platter and say, sorry, we thought you should have this one in the end. But they're not going to do that. Instead,
change the game plan. We've seen that yesterday whenever they were up against Elevate.
The one where you go, this is the must-win because, well, it's FURIA and Falcons. You're not really, you know, pick your method of execution.
How?
Okay, there is one back, but instantly traded out. And think about the site. Think about where we're supposed to be. And think about what has just happened. They do have the main breach open, and Nade's just going to try and walk in with Herds doubling up. Souffle covered by the smoke, but that will force Nade out. Azuki's going for the cross peek. He might get caught, but Seal gets one more. Well, they know Nade is the last one. He's got someone behind him on Skybridge that gets caught by a grenade.
Oh, hang on.
And there's Souffle, 2 versus 1.
Hold the phone.
40 seconds. That's the last smoke canister. There's the first plant of audio. And with 10 seconds, are they going to move in? There's the swing, there's the bait, there's the push and the pressure. There's one! Nade! He's looking for his 4th. He's only got a pocket full of seconds, but Seal saves the day!
It's them back up and going again. So, for FURIA, timeout from Igor. Typically will bear pretty good reward. Never mind.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Hey, we also talked about this in the game yesterday as well. If they take a timeout, sometimes do something crazy and you can try and man advantage, and well, he's baiting out, but support is coming around from the side of green. They will expect it. Oh no, not well enough. Nade caught out by Souffle. Now it's a 2 versus 1, and Seal pushes on and gets that player. They've led them into a trap and played it perfectly, but Adamos gets one on the swing, looks for the second. It's a closer fight than he expects, and he's just going to slip away, but he's got support of his own. Hit the pipe. The grenade will force even further motion, but it's Hazuki. Has the cover on towards JV92, and KZ, a 1 versus 3 all alone. He has the kit far and far away. And a timeout, you say it can be successful. Same can be said for Daystar.
To try and isolate some of these 1v1s and no, can't even get the guy. We're getting a lot of info right now.
Still slowing down this vertical control. Obviously, it's a very important part to get. Remember where the site is, but you need to stop it. And KZ gets the swing onto Souffle. There was a second, and the C4 is the punctuation on the fight, but can they find one more? There's obviously the down. There's the cross. And here, with only 2 players still currently standing, and Vertical falling away with 40 seconds, FURIA should be able to push this one into their place. But there is a recollection, and now Joe in an off-piste position, waiting and hiding, could be massive if he goes unchecked. Oh, he did! There's one, there's 2, Joe! And he's just gonna tuck in 20 seconds. Suzuki finds one of his own. There's not even the revenge demo. There is
stairs towards exit door, just stands there. Chaotic. There's no point.
Are you thinking, okay, do we maybe peel back? They push themselves back in. They're looking for the engagement, and they find the ace. Giving them a taste of their own medicine and saying we can swing out on defense as well. For Leapox, he's finding a fight and gets caught. Okay, that's your Tachanka gone, and now they... that I saw. Instead, Flores was busy doing other work, and here's where I said there might be more of a take. The French shotgun pops! At the same second, there's JV92 getting Souffle. The smokes go in, so does Jaw. Oh, he's able to get hers on the back, but he can't quite find KZ in 2 versus 1. His steal is suddenly all that's left. Now they know exactly where he is. He's been rounded upon, and KZ puts it to bed, but there's...
Who's going to be the first man in to really start pressuring these defenders? And look, they still have the Grim. They still got some form of util. And as I say, they still have the Grim. No longer.
Yeah, I was sort of waiting for that. Obviously, they put the heavy pressure in, but it feels like, as I said before, that playstyle of just finding fights, it doesn't always translate on towards your attack, because they're trying that, but they're having to hit themselves against held positions. And, well, they're ready for it. Look at that, just swung around right into a Fenrir. They get the trade out, but they have the man advantage. It's a game FURIA can play right now because, well, they've got an extra body. They also still have an Echo on the board, so they don't even have the kit to try and make the plant happen before the plant can even be stopped by an Echo. They've got to fight their way into warehouse. KZ gets one. You know where the last person is, and as I said it before, a 5-1 can become a 5-2 and can become a 5-3. Well, here's the play. Here's the go on the plant, and you're right, you're a genius. They're going to go for it with the shield on the back, but not quite genius enough. Nade finds Joe. They've lost the shield. As I said, the important operator often gets caught out first. And now, well, what do you do? The kid stuck in the middle, and you've also now lost the thermite. 5 versus 3. It was a good idea. Unfortunately, it did not quite pay off. And now, FURIA, they can sit there. They have this man advantage once again. They're holding onto these angles, waiting for things to come together. And remember, this is the tertiary site. This was the one where if Daystar could have won just this site twice, they win the map. And now as it sort of trickles through their fingers and falls away into probably a flawless, well, that fear might start to appear. Not a flawless, ooh. Not much work. Superhero themed theme. Back and forth, they're well aware of this position, but without anything like a Ying to put the pressure out, it's going to have to potentially be Grim over the top. Try and force the motion as Herds gets the opener, gets rid of the Glaz though. This follow-through fight is one for KZ to lock in. Seal pops just off the side. There's one more for Herds. And now we have sort of just picking them off one at a time. You going, Souffle?
Yeah, I mean...
Where is Amaru?
Oh, never.
Nowhere.
Well, he
okay.
He had fun, I think. There is so much util that they need to go through. A Goyo will be popped. Herds, a double. I mean, he's at double digits again, by the way. Not going to make a move until it's gone. And, well, his teammate has been able to clear it out, but still. Oh, dear, the Clash looking right at him as well. There's so many counters here for the Blitz. That was an Elamine. Oh, dear. I mean, everything just stops that Blitz. You look at that lineup. What was he supposed to do? The Echo. Into looking at
in a corner on the swing, waiting for the approach potentially. They've got each other covered. There's the first fight, and as I said, Herds, he was looking for it. They can't quite get this mirror window open because they know there's going to be a swing, but there goes KZ, and that's inside the site. Suddenly, back and forth above. Now he didn't see the man. Seal
Lion shotgun
with the Lion shotgun keeps popping. There's a clash, but they're in the middle of a fight of their own. Souffle's able to get one more, and Suddenly we might be screaming in towards OT here. Demo into 1 versus 1 nade. He pulled off a massive almost clutch earlier, and this time round, what's the peak? What's the game? What's the pre-fire? It's another shotgun on shotgun, but he steps back. Nade! That back line, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Hammer. But then found their feeting and started running after like they were doing in English. A little bit more light coming from this star, and it's not quite. They're just going to force that player out of elevator, and now we'll see if they're going to try and hold on at least for one. They are!
Gotta reload!
JV92, goodbye.
Towards the kind of default plant position inside of blue, opening it up. It's going to be
Sight hatch is also locked as well.
pretty difficult.
So instead, they just swing in. There's one. Seal is found by KZ. Nate is taking some damage, and Hurt just puts the pedal to the metal and finally hits a bit of a brick wall, but it's a 3 versus 3. They have garage control. They force the players into a bit of a panic. They can't quite get the feet in the right position, and Joe, lying in the middle of the floor, is about to be swung from behind. It's trade game after trade game. And the one left standing, is Daystar.
A little bit of aggression catching FURIA by surprise. And look at that, the double peek out the window. They found another.
That's the Ying. To really get rid of half of it, and they just don't have the utility. There's that grenade, as I said. It'll get rid of the 2 keepers, and they've got to try and push behind it. Seal gets Felipox. There goes the shield. There goes one more. And JV92. All building. They've kept everything external so far. The one player's hopped in. He's got to go into a cross. He knows this is going to happen, and a flawless game. Got a big.
So being able to have the information and knowing if players are going to be swinging onto the windows is crucial.
Well, Seal gets Herds on the opposite side. He was swung outside of the window. Potentially Seal! Everybody put your hands to... It's the same things we saw FURIA suffering from on the first side. There's just a drive from Nade, but the verticality is just going to feed the Blackbeard in, and he looked like he was going to try and contest the vertical for a second. Realized they peeled off and pulled off. Pressure from the main stairs, swing round, 20 seconds, double down, and KZ does get Seal, but does take a bite out of JV. And there's Joe getting a bit of revenge. A last second dash in towards the site itself. They know he's coming from here. They've got 3 bodies all watching it from slightly different angles. And that is 3 rounds.
Where they're going to go from here? Gotta think about the execute now. Still have to, of course, go through the Tachanka, and the multitude of C4s are at the disposal of Daystar. The Tachanka goes down because he proned, he exposed his leg, and that DMR tore him to pieces. Big old blunder from Seal, and now that time issue that was going to be staring FURIA in the face is gone.
Herds is taking the jiggle peek here on the angle, but Souffle does get nade, and that's the Blackbeard gone as well. The kit, cold above the hatch itself, will get recollected, but if you're going for that on the coverage, well, it's almost a trade-off. They don't have the burn, but they do have the sort of brawn. There goes JV. He's caught by Azuki. They drop inside the site. They're in absolutely every thorn, and they're going to see if they can plant, but look at the timer demo. Swing, buddy, swing. Go for the pop. He's right next to you. No, he doesn't see him. They get the plant secured, and refire Hurd holds it down. Didn't quite get the barbed wire you wanted.
Hurd needs to be careful here as well, because he does have those very valuable smoke grenades, and that's it. This is what they do. They will take those risks.
It was great, and JV92 suffers on the long window as well, but he actually wins out his engagement. DMRs. Who'd have thought that they would be as popular as they are? Yep, try and drive his way up. I mean, if he can get a body, if he can get a pick, then he can sort of stem this into his favor. There's the echo. Felipox does still find Azuki whilst hit by it, though, and now all the stuns inside. Souffle takes some damage, but it's a 4 versus 2 as they get themselves another body, and they encircle and circle those round on the back, but they have a grasp on sight. They just scream their way up. The plant is going down. There's at least a down on one, but it will get confirmed, and now it's a 3 versus 1, and you talk about impossible retakes. We don't even get to see a start of this one. For a regulation loss. They could not get a single attack, and here's a way to start. Herds wanted to drive directly down to the site, but nobody is further smokes, further fire, and keeping themselves at bay. Remember we talked about, oh no, he's just going to go for the plant. Azuki in the meantime gets another kill. The flames aren't landing. It's going to be a 5 versus 3 post-plant situation. And with KZ holding onto the verticality, well, now they can peel back. Suddenly 40 seconds, but look at the players. Do you go for a vertical retake? You kind of have to. And that's what they're going to hope here. This isn't going to really get you too far right now. Gang, you've got to go somewhere, do something. 15 seconds have passed, and now the pings are coming through. It's 2 versus 1. KZ has them stacked, but there's a player over the top. They know they just need 7 seconds, but now they've got 1 player left. Now it's 2 and 3. KZ collaterals his way. The story of success. There's one slightly further off. It's the vertical hold. You said it was a tough read.
That the Chanka missing where they were playing the glass. So the counterplay was great, but still missed utility. Every entrance in towards this basement. I mean, Azuki, he's now against the idea of going for that. First pick, though, goes in favor of Daystar. Needs someone keep going. He's peering into the bomb site.
Oh, Pikanzu does go down. There's almost a down on towards Felipox to keep things going. At this point, Daystar, the risk has not really paid off. They have to just sit and wait and hope. There's the swing round. Soufflé does get a vertical. Technically a 3 versus 2, but 20 seconds. They know they've still got to go for the plant. They're maybe just going to try and drop the hatch and cover the cross. Here's the motion. Do they have the hatch open? Azuki does, but not quite enough in time. Joe finally finds the end of Felipox, though, and it's the double down, but a 3 versus 1, technically a 2, as it's all down to Nade once again. Sprays through 1, gets them both! He just keeps going and going. Now with the first engagement coming together, Azuki gets KZ. Maybe we'll see all chat again sooner rather than later. And JV gets Joe. Balances back and forth. They've lost the ace. We saw them using Selmas quite early. And here's the go. Here's the break onto the barbed wire. They're fully stacked and waiting. Just misses his man, but there's the double up, the team up, and the pressure means that they can sort of support each other somehow. Gets the fade in as they fade away, but this player tucked behind the wall gets the last, and FURIA. To play maps like this against the best teams on it is you learn. Maybe that's something. Oh, well, I said it. KZ's learned the lesson of I'm going to peek outside the same way you did to me.
Kind of drop from there now, but also in towards that mid floor. And speaking of, Soufflé's going to try and go at them.
Oh, gets himself a double right in the core. The bottom square and pillar, and there's Azuki. Held and waited at bay. A 4 versus 2. They've been able to, but instead they're going to try and double down, and now he's going to do it with full clarity and vision. They can't quite get him in a single instance. They finally find it sealed. And now they can see if they can get this kit planted. They know where the last player is, and they just need to play objective right now. The game that suffered them suffers them no more. Their first attack in the
help to try and come towards FURIA, which I'm sure what the cast was trying to do was rotate into compared to the last time they attacked this basement. See a blitz come into play, the sense also there. Oh, JV, I mean, as simple as you like.
Wasn't really the worst problem. This grenade will force him either up the stairs or down. He's going to go up, he's going to go into a shield. They're going to try and get the cover, and they do. They do get it down in the meantime, but they swing the double pressure, though. The C4 from Nade. And Soufflé. They can get Joe up. But it's a 3 versus 4 with 40 seconds.
They have the sense, but I don't think that's the main issue. It's the position of Urge right now that they need to deal with. He's playing so aggressive on the hatch, but he's been taken out. Now they can maybe go for it. They still have the sense to cut off lines of sight. They need to make the punt happen.
Well, there's the sense, there's the roll, and what we're looking at is no C4 and nothing to stop it other than just trying to swing in, trying to get the bodies down. KZ is the long watch towards the default plant spot, and JV, well, he left open a long time ago, and he leaves it in a coffin. There's the plant, there's the cover, there's the hop, and there's the drop. Now with the last pick, the 1 versus 2, it's just the planter. He's spraying through, hoping, and he gets the down. It's the 1 versus 1. He's looking for the fight. He has to win it, and he does. Steal! So locked in that even when they went for the entrance, there was always another body to trade, and they've actually pulled themselves back to a similar place. Felipox is inside stock. Nade is holding on to the top of the stairs, and with JV and Hers the eyes on the site, well, JV does what JZ does all the way from the back line, gets one, swaps himself over, and gets ready to get them on the swing in. But Pikanzu, he's behind the desk. He's going for the plant itself. He's buried right on the back, but Hers is about to make a friend. C4. Oh, he can't quite get it. Yes, he does. And there is the drop there. They've rotated round. Because they got the player on top square, it became free real estate. They've took it, they've enjoyed it, and now they've got themselves on map and series point.
Yeah, great.
Smoke canisters, 15 fires. Where are you going to go? They're going to expect either side, and they can cover absolutely everything. There's still that shield on that back line. The bait, the wait, and the play inside the fire. Azuki, he's not going to be able to attack that. But Pikanzu is able to get ahead, but there's the trade out. 6 seconds. You've still got to operate the plant, and the kid itself, he's finally found a place to go. A 4 versus 1 Herd up on the vertical rotate. They will confirm this plant just in time, and now slips away, but he can't get anything more. Daystar, not done yet, Star. Could be the... So instead, what have they got? They've got things to play into the roam. They've got this play above, but they've also got... Oh, the first kill on Herds! Port wants to try and get aggressive in on the beepers. Surely they hear it. They don't. They're covered. There's the swing because they get the player on the stairs instead. So they still opted for it, and there's KZ caught out for Leapbox and Nade. This pair, all that's left...
I mean, 2v4. It should be out of the realms of possibility with what's still on the board for the defense. Still got the Tachanka, the Goyos, the Flames, everything. I mean, yeah, Seal, just have a pop. Why not? I mean, Nade, he's going to get the plan off. Looks as though he is.
Away as a team and have the cover. And you can see them doing it. They're putting pressure. They're going for the audio, and they're just going to watch. They're just going to wait. And they're just going to win this round. Daystar, 1 round away. For damage, they're just being picked at, pulled at, and not pulled apart though, because JV is a said, well, as long as he's got 1 HP, FURIA have a dream. Nade gets Pikanzu, and the balance has immediately shifted back over.
That kind of layered system here in this roam game. You have the mirror windows as the first layer, and then all of a sudden you look, oh dear, there's a lot of concrete that we have to move through.
JV gets 1 more. Yeah, no, 3 players even in the site. They've just locked it down, apart from JV, who's going to go for a fight and engagement. He knows what he can do well, and that's all. Moments like that! Doesn't need to see, just needs to know that he's better than you. And now, a 4 versus 1 with 15 seconds, and he's still trying to at least find the exit onto JV. Does get the down and the confirm, but I think he's done enough that round. We are going all the way.
Yeah, better hold, isn't it, from FURIA?
They're going for the divide, the rotate round. JV with the kit cannot be caught by Pikanzu. He's having a catch in waiting arms. There is 1 more. The full steal gets another for his tally as Nade finds at least the loose player, but 40 seconds. No kit in hand, and Nade driving his way through, hoping this position could be one that nets him a kill. But Azuki and Joe are the dreamers for Daystar. And this roster that is on the brink of elimination.